Welcome. So today I want to talk to you about the importance of slowly is better than fast. And when you are working and getting your master's degree or studying to get your master's degree, and once you graduate, you will have to do hours. But before I get to that, let me kind of start in the beginning. You have a lot of assignments to do, right? So what I highly recommend, what worked for me, is to make time to study and to do the work for 2 hours. No more than 2 hours per assignment. You will get really burned out and it's just going to be overwhelming. So if you look at your calendar, and another thing that I do, you guys, I love the color pink. So I will go on Amazon and look at different things that I like to make my stationery things cute. As you can see, I have I'm addicted to pens, by the way. Pink donut. My little things that I have are like pink because I'm kind of obsessed with it. And so I get my calendar. I would get my calendar. I mean, I graduated already. And I would use the times. This is a weekly appointment planner. And it's all in times. If you get the one that's monthly, it helps, but not as much as this. Because this one starts at 7 a.m. and it ends at 8:45 p.m. Okay, so you get to block out and you write in these little boxes like 2 hours study for, let's say you start studying at 8 o'clock. From 8 to 9, you study for one class. You leave either the whole hour to rest or 30 minutes. Or you can do, like 1 hour here, 30-minute rest, and then the 30-minute and the rest of the hour here. So you get to work with it the way you want. But I honestly encourage you to have, yes, a monthly, but use this more as your primary block out schedule. And it helps tremendously. Now, this is you scheduling your classes, right? And getting organized. Okay. Let's say you graduate. And as a social worker, if you want to get licensed, which you don't have to, and that's what I thought, you guys. I literally thought I don't need no license. That's too much work. But then I started doing the work and I'm like, oh my goodness, in order for me to be my own boss, which I already am, but to be a therapist, my private practice, I need a license. And I encourage you that even if you just graduated with your master's, yes, you kind of want to take a breather, purchase the study guide. Purchase a study guide. I have my study guide here. This is my study guide. I actually got it from the Therapist Development Center. I love them because that's what I used to for my law and ethics exam, and it was so well organized. You read, you download, you can write, you can highlight, there's audios, you can listen whenever you want. So I decided to come back to them. I am going to put a link below so that you can use it. Hopefully it's still valid, but I did as $25 off. Even if you just graduated from high school, even if you just graduated from with your master's degree, and you take a breather because or maybe you just start to you go into an agency, a mental health agency to work. I encourage you seriously to purchase it. Don't wait until a few months before your 6 years are up, because you only get 6 years to work on your 3,000 hours. And although it's 6 years, time flies, you guys. Oh my goodness, time flies. And the reason I'm just encouraging you guys to get your study guide is because you're going to learn so much from the study guide that you're going to be implementing it at the same time while you're getting your 3,000 hours. So that's what I'm telling you this, because I didn't know this in the beginning. I am probably missing every nude. I have it's 6 years, so I think I already have like 2 years in, or 3 if I'm not mistaken. So I literally have 3 more years. So it's good enough because I'm already like halfway done. Yeah, actually almost halfway done. So I decided to get this, and also I heard it from my supervisor, so it confirmed like it was a great decision. So get your study guide before you decide like, oh my goodness, my 6 years are almost up, and if not, I have to, because that's what happens, because you have to start over again if you don't accumulate your 3,000 hours. So I encourage you to purchase it, download it. You do need a printer, and I highlight. You can get a lot of these little tabs. I mean, like I said, I like to get little cute things because I like it, and it motivates me and inspires me to like really like my stuff and get to work and take time to read, and because it looks cute. I know it sounds a little dumb, but I'm sure I'm not alone in this. So I downloaded, and I actually wrote all the topics on here. I'm not done with it. I downloaded this a while back, and I'm gonna be studying this. So you do get a limited time to use it, which is okay though, because you can extend it for free if you just contact the Therapist Development Center. There are other places, not just this, but this is the only place that I love. I like to be organized. I am more of a, like, I can't just like read. I need to like listen. I need to write. I need to highlight. You can go back and review the material and, study, and you get to implement it, and you'll learn so much better, in my opinion. The other thing is that when you're working on your 3,000 hours, I am going to share with you. I'm like slamming this thing, huh? But I want to share with you this. When you graduate, you're like, I need these 3,000 hours. Okay, cool. I'm going to work at a mental health agency. And that's what I did for a year. And it was very helpful. Very helpful. But I was extremely burned out. I felt like I was suffocating, and it was taking a toll into my mental health. It was like I didn't have time to work out, take care of my body, be present with my family. I was always just focusing on those 3,000 hours. So I'm glad I did it, but I wouldn't go back to a contracted county agency ever again. I would not. You do a lot. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's its pros and cons. But you can do work in other places with not much paperwork. County contracted agencies, everything's about liability, right? So if you work for an agency and they have a system that you have to follow, and some agencies are Exum and I don't know what the other names of, that's the only one that I know. You obviously do your notes for your therapy session, and it's not just like you leave it there, right? You do an assessment, a care plan, safety plan. But I kid you not, you guys, I felt like I was spending so much more time making corrections because of the lack of training. I don't think the training was well, by the way, but I actually was learning more with the mistakes. So that has its pros and cons, but it does give you a great, strong foundation to feel confident as a therapist, although you have a burnout feeling. So is it worth it to work in a mental health agency? Yes and no. Yes and no. I think, honestly, many of these locations, agencies, are doing their best to be able to work with therapists because they see the turnaround. Many therapists are like, I can't handle this, even within a few weeks or a few months. I'm glad that I lasted a year. And I'm like, oh my goodness, that year went by fast, but I was able to get more hours within that year. And now I am working as a contracted therapist, and I can determine how many cases I can take. But you have to really network with other therapists and friends that are therapists, or friends that know therapists, to be able to know where to go for that. I did not know about this if it wasn't for a friend that's a therapist herself, and I appreciate her very much for helping me and guiding me, because now I'm able to help other therapists. So you can work at an agency, but like I said, it is hectic, and you can also work at another agency part-time to accumulate your hours. But the thing is, you can't go over 40 hours. And so if you're doing 40 hours in that agency and you're working extra, then they won't count. So you have to be very kind of cautious with that. And every supervisor is very different. There's supervisors that will use their own formula to count your hours. There's and they see that it's accurate. It's not that they're lying, not at all. But then there's just different ways for you to keep organized, to have your hours organized. But I do want to share this, and this is the reason why I wanted to do this video. One, to help you, give you some tips of what worked for me. But the other thing is also that don't let these 3,000 hours take over your life to where that's all you're focused on. Take care of your mental health, okay? Drink water, exercise, assess if you're working in an agency and you feel like it's not for you, then explore other areas. But don't leave without a backup. You know, you guys already know that's like the important thing to do. But don't let those 3,000 hours consume you. Get organized. You know, there's people that get to the 5th year and they're like, I'm not even halfway done. And they're like, I'm gonna have to start over. And they do. You know what? Life happens. Life is more, your mental health is more important than just these numbers. But I understand that it's also important in our career, right? But be very smart with it, you guys. I mean, I'm just sharing this with you, but at the end of the day, it's going to be up to you to assess what works for you and what doesn't work for you. No one's going to tell you that. Nobody is going to tell you that. And I'm talking about masters in social work. And I think also with other careers, right, in which you are in that require mental health awareness for yourself, because nobody in this world is going to take care of you the best as you. And if you feel kind of stuck and you're like, I don't even know how to take care of myself, so that's a red light. That's a big red light, pretty much, where you have to reassess your goals. You know, now I'm doing what I love. I'm focusing on my career. I mean, I have been, but not in a way where I'm like overwhelmed. I have freedom, and that's beautiful. I love it. Although it takes work to get there, because it took me to be in that agency for a year. I love my colleagues. I love the mission of that agency, but I understand it's part of a system. But you do learn a lot with documentation, with the with county, and you know, not that you're going to be there forever. Some people do like to be there forever. I can't. I personally can't. I am more of an entrepreneur, and I want to do my own things, and I want to have interns, and I want to supervise, and I want to guide and help them, because so I appreciate my supervisors, and I think that it helps people, you know, navigate this career of as a therapist, because we never stop learning. We never stop learning. So I hope you guys took a lot from this. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'm going to leave the coupon for the Therapist Development Center so that you can download it and get a discount. And like I said, you don't have to be close to the finish line to start studying for your license. You can start doing it now, and trust me, you're going to learn so much that you're going to be like, oh my goodness, like, what a difference. What a difference. So thank you so much, you guys, for taking the time, and I hope you have a beautiful day. Bye.